Hello, lovely. I have an interesting card here, shared fantasy, that we're going to talk about. So, a shared fantasy is when you and another person, it's one induces, there's a primary person and you. So, there's someone in you that live in a delusion together. So, one induces a primary, the other is the inductee, the secondary. It's a shared psychotic disorder, prominent delusions. There's two people, it could be a family, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but there's two people involved or potentially more, but let's focus on you and another. And it's not love. It feels like love because there's some delusion in your head of love that probably happened in childhood or some sort of traumatic event, where the way that you interpret data has evolved and changed into a fantasy delusion. So it's brainwashing, it's snapshotting. This is a psychological thing we're about to break down. And I'm just being obedient, okay? I'm just showing up. I'm here doing my job. Okay. It's divorced from reality, and it's a substance-induced or brain chemical. So I always recognize this as like, it's pretty much romanticized love, the way they kind of show us in Hollywood and stuff. And it's just broken. It's just a broken way that we've been taught and trained into love. And there's obviously people who don't, so that's not who I'm talking to. But specifically, whatever you're dealing with right now has something to do with a shared fantasy. It's a shared delusion. It feels like reality. It seems real. But if you've been asking God or praying or wishing, hoping, asking the universe to clarify, is this love? Is that what I'm feeling with this person or something like that? And you were drawn to this message, we're going to break it down because that's what came out. And that's how being obedient to the truth is. It's not what you want to hear. It's not what I want to say. It's what comes out. It's obedient to truth. That's what this channel is about. We're going to break down crazy ass topics and be honest about it. Sign language came out. So it's saying like, sign language is obviously a language, but it's also a language and a code you can have with another. So there's some sort of language you have with someone that they lure you into a fantasy world with them, and it's confusing. Feminine nature attributes, because feminine nature is a receptive energy. So a highly feminine energy is going to adapt to something that it believes in to be strong enough to lead it. That's just what a child would do. That's what a young woman would do. That's what a feminine person would do, is I'm trusting you to lead by example. Masculine energy leader. Masculine energy could be a parent, could be it could be anybody that is leading you. So a partner. It could be big, small, micro, macro. But regardless, feminine energy is creative, imaginative. It's about community, power. It's a sexual energy. So sex, seduction, dance, art, magical, receptive, alluring, nurturing, intuitive, collaborative. It's vulnerable. It's emotional. It's manipulative. It's beautiful. It's caring. It's gentle. It's fragile. It's tender. It's humble. It's patient. There's a lot, right? It's playful. So there's something about feminine energy here that is being manipulated or pulled into, lured into with sign language or code language you have with someone else. And your vessel, your ship, oh, interesting. Wow. Oof. So let me just like break this down. Hearing voices is on top there. I got hearing voices, spaceships, and Sonia Massey. That's really interesting. So Sonia Massey was a woman that, deeply religious, feminine woman, that was SHOT by the POLICE. I don't know what I can say on here, but in a really aggressive, violent way. She was clearly a very feminine, innocent person, and there's video footage of her standing in her kitchen. She called the peoples to come to her house and help her out because she felt like someone was, around her house. She's very gentle, very feminine, very gentle, very, very gentle. And she's like, hello, officers. Can you check my house for intruders? And the officers are like, doing their job, but then they come in her house and, you know how vampires work. You invite them in, okay? We don't know what entities were attached to them. She let them in her home while she was gently just doing her stuff. And, of course they wrote her off for mentally ill, but she was a religious woman. And she's like boiling water. She goes to her kitchen. She noticed the energy was off. She could tell these aggressive, violent men were overpowering her feminine energy, and she rebuked them in the name of Jesus, and it was crazy. Go look it up. Sonia Massey. That's how you spell it, if you can read that. And what's absolutely bizarre right now that's coming to me is there's a violent person in your energy field that will do what it takes to to play out the dark's agenda against your light. Enchantress, you know what I'm saying? Enchantress, a woman who uses magic or sorcery to put someone under a spell. So you're dealing with somebody who there's something about your energy that's doing goodness in the world that the dark is trying to send. Oh, I hate this concept, honestly. I'm so sorry I have to say it. And I don't ever talk about it. I don't have a card about it. And I hope I don't have to talk about it, but I have to be obedient, okay? This makes me think of gang stalking. And I see this as violent predator energy sees something in you. So now, okay, they see something in you that they're trying to stop you from doing. So I'm being asked to tell you the story. When I was being birthed into reality, I had to have an emergency C-section because my mother was in bed and she said something climbed on top of her after she heard footsteps in the hallway, and she thought it was my dad and it wasn't, and something got on her and pushed her down or whatever. And I didn't find this out until like 28, by the way. But yeah, it did that. And then like a week or 3 weeks later, within a few weeks, she had to have an emergency C-section because the umbilical cord was wrapped around my throat and I was born purple because I was losing oxygen or whatever. And that's the way the dark forces work against the light, is when you're destined or gonna do something for the light in this world to help. If you're like destined for something like that, there's dark forces after you in ways that you maybe don't want to believe. And hearing voices, wow, this is very powerful, friend. We gotta pray. I'm not religious, I promise. Whew. This place is holy, this place is safe. This place is holy, this place is safe. This space is sanctified with God's grace. I welcome holy love and light. In flesh we come, in spirit we fight. Hallelujah to the Most High forever and ever. Amen. I did a reading yesterday or whatever day, and I forgot to mention this, and I'm almost 100% sure that reading and this reading are connected. And I forgot to mention how when I went to light my sage before the reading, it literally sparked everywhere, and I had on yellow. And if you look, you won't see it, but I basically burned all these holes in my yellow skirt because of the energy I was tapping into. So this is a dark, dark energy, and it's okay. Don't be scared. We're not going to fear evil here. We're going to let evil be evil, and we're going to be good because we are of God. Whatever that means. Whatever that means, okay? Malcolm X is also right here. And if we know, Malcolm X also represents a character that was taken out by the dark forces because he represented a peaceful, defensive energy against the darkness. So he wasn't a violent man. He wasn't out seeking violence. He wasn't doing anything violent. He was standing against the darkness. He was light. And they still found a way. They still found a way. And what's crazy is both of these people were also taken out by the POLICE at the time. So that's not great at all. Friend, it's gonna be okay. Minorities. These are both minorities, guys. Minorities, okay? So that means many things. Either you're a minority, we could be literal with it, or we could be, creative with it and see it as the lesser in the world. So to be holy and separate from evil, it requires you to be the minority. You're not going to be popular maybe, or what you're saying or doing or whatever, it might not be, it's not popular. It's not popular. Sexual immorality. Sexual immorality. I've been really picking up, and I did pick up on that last reading also, that there's a sexual demon at play here. So what does that mean? It means that you invited in R. Kelly. I wrote this down yesterday. This is sexual demon right here. R. Kelly is a sexual demon person, like someone that represents that, okay? So there's a sexual demon involved here that is working through, it's playing on your vulnerability, it's playing on your weakness, it's trying to take control of your spaceship because it's violent and angry and upset. It wants you to be involved in this shared fantasy that this is love when it's not. But it's really trying to take you out. And I'm so sorry to make such an aggressive, violent, I don't even want to talk about this. My nose is watering. It was not an accident. Something happened. Remember. So I'm being shown that something that just happened in your reality recently, somewhere between a week and 3 months. So we got cut off there because obviously this is a very important message and we're going to get it out. So it was not an accident. It was right next to Sonia Massey because I knew what I saw when I saw what I saw. And I now have the discernment. Gosh, I'm not being prideful. I have discernment, and we all do have the ability to tap in, okay? But there is this entity attachment behind people that we're not, we're forgetting. Let me can we slow down? Can you trust me for one moment to slow down and allow the dopamine to calm down, allow your hormones to balance, take a freaking breath, and have a little bit of faith and trust. That's really what's needed right now, because your energy feels like it wants answers. It's like quick, and I need it to slow down for it to be, for us to get it, okay? So we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. It's a very important message. I didn't expect it to be this dark. So let's just let's do it, because we don't come in the flesh, we come in the spirit. We fight against spirits of principalities and places we cannot see, and for whatever reason, that's how it's got to be. So we're gonna have to deal with it. Instinct. What does your instinct tell you? My instincts are telling me that, my instincts told me to sit down here, be obedient, and not control the situation, and be honest and truthful with whatever comes out, regardless of what I want to talk about or not. And this is not the type of topic I want to talk about, but this is important because your instincts are trying to tell you and guide you right now, and you're fighting against your instincts. Hearing voices is very important, right next to shared fantasy. Enchantress. So, you know, it doesn't have to be, but Enchantress does represent like a woman energy. So you could be dealing with a woman. In the last energy, I was very specifically speaking to a feminine, so I'm not quite sure. And I don't want to limit it to one person. Maybe it's multiple people that I'm speaking to. But there is an enchantress. There's somebody that is luring you in. They're using your feminine nature to seduce you into a trap. That's also the Malcolm X energy, because he was seduced into a trap. I mean, they literally offed him in his home. How horrible. How horrible. What kind of life, like the paranoia and the stuff they had to go through like that. Mermaids. Right next, mermaids. Now I'm seeing like siren energy. Wow, this is a dark person. This person you're dealing with is very dark. So either they're actively attacking you, or the entities that they have allowed in their being are actively attacking you. Wow, I don't think they... Okay. This is wisdom. Use wisdom. Wisdom is applied knowledge. So knowledge is learning, like doing the math, right? So 2 + 2 = 4. Wisdom will be your answer here, because how you're feeling about it isn't the truth. There is a sexual demon There's a sexual demonic energy that is preying on your vulnerability, that requires wisdom to defeat, to vanquish, to... There's that immortality word. Stimming. Interesting. Self-stimulating, doing an action over and over again, or repeating the same behavior sound several times. You may stim to help with emotions associated with autism, spinning, hair twirling, flapping arms, humming, pacing back and forth, chewing, smelling, rolling eyes, looking at lights for long periods of time, rocking. So if you have been experiencing anything like this, where you're just kind of like, because I know I do it, we just be like, you know, maybe twirling your hair, like this kind of stuff, you know, like that's a sign that you're trapped in a fantasy. And you're trying to figure out how to get out. So it's like you're entrapped. These little bastards. Ugh. The energy is vampires, my friend. Okay? You invited them in. You invited them in. So, what do we need here? Garlic? What do we need to get this vampire away? Love? What the fuck? Love. Vibrate love. Self-love. So the opposite of love is hate or whatever. There's so many fear even. Don't be in fear. Don't be in hate. Don't be in that vibration. We need to really invoke love here and vibrate love. The frequency of love. I was really inspired to be non-polar today, which is this whole black and white vibe I got going on. It's not black or white, okay? There's no extremes here. Actually, you are being asked to be pulled to the extreme of love because you've been somehow pulled to the other side in a way. Human trafficking. Yeah, you guys, I don't know what you're going through exactly, but the energy, and that's all pink. With what, one blue? This is so feminine. So beautiful little angel, you are up against darkness right now, and that's okay. That's life. I've faced demons, and I do continue to face them, motherfuckers, okay? They there. I don't know what to say about it besides there is a shield of protection, the armor of God you have to put on if you want to protect yourself. And I'm seeing that just like R. Kelly somehow seduced a whole bunch of teenagers into his bedroom, freaking weirdo. He had all the options. He could have been 18-year-olds. It could have been 19-year-olds, but no, it had to be 14-year-olds. It had to be that. It's like, no, 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 no. The mother in me, the future grandmother in me, absolutely not. Like, I do not tolerate this. And we need to vanquish this demon. Go somewhere else. Only love and light are welcome here. This space is holy. Be gone. Like, go the fuck away. Ugh. Okay. Go the fuck away. It's such a like nasty energy. I'm so sorry I'm getting dramatic. Royalty. Exactly. So royalty is coming out because there's royal bloodlines. This is the whole reason Hitler's crazy ass did what he did, because there's this bloodline energy that we're not quite aware of in today's time. So you have blood that, oh, it's like candy to these people, to these entities. Now, why is this coming out? Okay, this is coming out because deception, disgrace. I can't remember. Is when Scar. No, that was Kovu. Kovu and Kiara. Lion King, Kovu and Kiara. Oh. Okay. So you, okay. I see. So you were born, your blood is of royal, whatever that means, okay? Don't get all egotistical here, but something about your blood comes from, I'm seeing Cain and Abel. So there's Abel and there's Cain. Your blood of Abel is trying to fight off the blood of Cain. What does that mean? Like, there's something in your blood that has been tainted and molested pretty much by the darkness, that something about like generations, here you are, right? All your ancestors, it's now you. It's now on you. And here you are fighting this demon that you're like, I don't know what to do with it. Well, your ancestors have done a lot of work too to fight this demon, and now it's your turn to do something. And acknowledging your power is important, because goodness of Abel, the goodness of you, is love will conquer. The power of your ability to get behind me, Satan, the power to get the darkness behind you is inside of you. I'm just do the math. I'm getting a little angry, so it's hard for me to see the truth because I'm oscillating. So we need a couple bells, guys. We can't just do this one bell. Just give me a second. You know, I learned recently, demons don't like bells. It's interesting. So, okay. you're under attack, and it's showing up in ways that society and science labels as mental illness, and you're feeling crazy. But what you're really experiencing is you're up against a demon, and this demon wants you to be in this shared fantasy delusion, you know, that you're crazy. Yeah, it took that. It blocked me. What were we trying to say here? Let's break this one down a little bit. Sovereignty and dark magic. Yeah. You're trying to gain sovereignty over this dark magic that's been on your bloodline. And you're strong enough to do this, or else your ancestors wouldn't be putting this on you. You wouldn't be here doing this if you couldn't do this. So faith in yourself is really important. Faith in God is important. Faith in the truth is important. Always seeking the truth is important here, because what the darkness wants to do is to convince you that you're crazy. So that way you submit to it. You just allow it to take over you. Yeah, I see y'all working overtime. Tupac. And I channeled Tupac in the last reading. Because I was like, I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. And misplaced hate makes disgrace to race. We under. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. I got Gen Z here, 1995 to 2009. So I'm speaking to probably someone that's a Gen Z. Wow. Gen Z came out, and then Gen O side came out. God's people. The Lord is coming for his people. I just boom, 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 boom. Doom, doom. Man, I wish I knew what she said. There's a song where she, at the beginning, what's her name? Her? It's like Daniel in the den, surrounded by these hungry lions. We reach for saving hand. No help will come from man. The Lord is coming. Doom, doom. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Play that song. That's really, really powerful. I'm about to pull it up. It's important. So Gen Zer, look at that word on top, okay? I see demons because I've been having this vision. I know what's coming. I know what's coming right here. It's very, very powerful. So whatever Satan is, I don't know, okay? I don't really understand it all, but I do see something big, and I do understand it enough. That energy, whatever the darkness is that can consume light, that tries to pull all the evil, pull the light into the evil so it can dominate and win over God. Whatever that is, it is trying to convince you to come to the dark side. Oops. And my friend, that word, the reason it came out is because the visions I've been getting about that are telling me there is I made a video about Gen Alpha being God's wrath. And there's a reason I interpreted that. And God's wrath, and then Gen Z is now being told to me as like the dark Satan energy wants to take out. But Gen Z is older. God's wrath. Very interesting. I can't break that down right now. That's too deep. Okay. Every day I pray for mankind. We're all slaves to a generation socialized, and sickness is in the mind. We are habitual thinkers, substance abusers, and habitual drinkers. But free your mind, because the plug is watching from the top floor, hoping you too would fall for the illusions of a temporary high. What we think we need to get by. But are we really trying when kids are dying and depression is trending? Are these the signs of Armageddon? We're all in denial, and it's all cool until you're suicidal. We never learn from our so-called idols. We're just repeating the cycle. So I never read the news anymore. It's hard to feel hopeless when no one noticed. The explosion came from a man whose legal gun was loaded. It's all watered down and sugar-coated. We voted, but did we really get to choose? We don't need proof that they separate us from the truth. Mothers and fathers are being separated from their youth, and they're selling the American dream and what it appears to be. But they don't teach us that wealth is unattainable with their currency. History is not my brother's story. The original founders were buried in the ground where men have planted seeds of disease, and they're justified being thieves, feeding their inner demons and blaming the minorities. It's a World War III, corruption versus greed, not you versus me. But do we ever think of the need for inner peace? They can't put a price on your soul. Don't matter your religion. Right and wrong is something everybody knows. They pick and choose what's equal, who's good and who's evil. And this is the devil's world, but the Lord is coming for his people. We're like Daniel in the den, surrounded by these hungry lions, looking in the jaws of death. We reach for saving hands. No help will come from men. The Lord is coming. Okay? And then it goes on. Just look up the song, play the song, hear the song. That's real. That's what's going on, my friend. It's time. So apparently we gotta read the Bible. I'm sorry I'm laughing. But 2 readings ago I did this, and it's important. So if you're ready for the little Bible sesh, okay, we're gonna do it. Church is a session. All right, where did I leave off? Oh, because we were at the 144,000. So my interpretation, where God led me in the beginning of my spiritual journey, is we're in Revelations somewhere around chapter 12, 13. And I read that in that 2 readings ago. Here I am at 14 with 144,000. And the Lamb and his 144,000. Then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb, standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a sound from heaven, like the roar of rushing waters, and like a loud peal of thunder. The sound I heard was like that of harpists playing their harps. And they sang a new song before the throne and before the 4 living creatures and the elders. No one could learn the song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. These are those who did not defile themselves with women, for they kept themselves pure. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were purchased from among men and offered the first fruits to God and the Lamb. No lie was found on their mouths. They are blameless. So the 3 angels, then I saw another angel flying in the midair, and he had the eternal gospel to proclaim to those who live on the earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people. He said in a loud voice, "Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, and the sea, and the springs of water." A second angel followed and said, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, which made all the nations drink the maddening wine of her adulterers." A third angel followed them and said in a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and his image and receives his mark on the forehead or on the hand, he too will drink of the wine of God's fury, which has been poured full strength into the cup of his wrath. He will be tormented." Let's make sure it's still recording. he will be tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torments rise forever and ever. There is no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and his image, or for anyone who receives the mark on his name. This calls for patient endurance on the part of the saints who obey God's commands and remain faithful to Jesus. Then I heard a voice from the heavens saying, "Write, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord." Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, they will rest from their labor, for their deeds will follow them. The harvest of the earth. I looked, and there before me was a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like a son of man, with a crown of gold on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. Then another angel came out of the temple and called in a loud voice to him who was sitting on the cloud, "Take your sickle and reap, because the time to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is ripe." I'm going to end it there because I have a little marker and I'll know where I'm at. But basically, my friends, I've been shown how we're about to start experiencing like plagues. I don't really know what to say. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that. But that's what we're about to talk about when we continue this. And what do I know? Nothing. I don't know nothing. I know that I believe in the truth, and the truth has led me to God. And I used to be an atheist, and I'm not doing this out of fear, because in 2018, threw everything spiritual I ever had away and completely went into holiness, and now I'm back. So am I saying that I did the right thing? I don't know. I'm still working on it. I'm still growing. I'm still maturing. I'm still evolving in my spirituality, but I'm not ignorant to what's going on, and I do have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So my obedience is to God and is to the truth, no matter what. So if you want to continue, I'll be back. I'll be back with some more whenever I'm asked to come here, and we will dig into this a little bit more. But please, praying is connecting, and it's really important to listen to your instincts right now. Your instincts are very important right now. I've been really tapping into deer energy. So deer energy is instinctual to survive. Your instincts are really important right now, and it's going to get you through the darkness, because we walk in the valley of the shadow of death, but we fear no evil. Okay? It'll be around, and we got to work on it, but we will not. No. We slay demons here, okay? We demon slayers. Demon slayers. So that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you so much. God loves you, and we will get through this. So thanks. See you next time. Bye.